Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into something I like to call the physical weight of the cloud, and taking a look inside Malaysia's massive AI boom. You know, we tend to think of the cloud as exactly that, a cloud. Light, invisible, just floating up there in the digital ether. But the reality? The cloud is incredibly heavy. It takes a massive physical toll. And to understand just how heavy it really is, we are going to look at Malaysia's jaw-dropping ambition to become the undisputed AI powerhouse of Southeast Asia.
And the momentum they have right now is absolutely staggering. Listen to this. Between July 2024 and June 2025 alone, Malaysia captured 32% of all AI-related investments pouring into Southeast Asia. 32%. We are talking about a total of around $759 million in a single year, placing them second only to their neighbor, Singapore. Global demand for data center capacity could nearly triple by 2030, and Malaysia has positioned itself perfectly to take a massive slice of that pie.
The sheer scale of this build-out is honestly hard to wrap your head around. One of Malaysia's largest conglomerates, YTL, hit the nail on the head when they said, "We don't just have data centers, we're actually building AI factories." And they're not exaggerating. As of June 2026, the state of Johor alone has 65 of these massive projects in the pipeline. Some are up and running, some are under construction, and dozens more are being planned. From 2021 to June 2025, investment applications hit over 144 billion ringgit, and total recorded investments could approach 200 billion ringgit. These numbers are just monumental.
Part 1. Powering the AI cloud. To really understand this boom, we need to pull back the curtain on this abstract idea of the cloud and look at the actual hardware and energy required to make it run.
So why is all of this happening in the state of Johor specifically? Well, traditionally, Singapore has been Southeast Asia's tech leader and a super vital hub for submarine data cables. But because of limited land and some very real sustainability concerns, Singapore actually put a moratorium, on new data center approvals back in 2019. And that essentially opened the floodgates for Johor. Johor is right across the causeway, so you get those lower latency connectivity rates to Singapore, plus they have abundant land, and the government is fast-tracking approvals. The first couple of projects were a huge success. We're talking just 13 months from breaking ground to turning the servers on, and the idea spread like wildfire.
But here's where it gets wild. There's a massive energy jump when you move from standard computing over to AI. Conventional data centers support normal cloud services, sure, but AI models require these specialized chips that run red hot. They need way more power to train and to actually generate responses. A single AI search prompt costs about 10 to 20 times the energy of a typical Google search. 10 to 20 times. Plus, think about human behavior. You might do a handful of Google searches in a day, but an active AI user, they might fire off 20 to 30 prompts in a 10-minute conversation. It is an exponential increase in power usage.
Part 2. Draining the water supply. That unbelievable energy usage leads us directly to the most critical, physical resource involved in this entire AI boom, and that is water. Okay, so the crucial thing to remember is that all those thousands of computer servers running day and night generate immense heat. To keep them from literally melting down, you need industrial-scale cooling. Most of these facilities work by pumping clean, treated industrial water, which is the exact same quality of water we drink at home, into giant cooling towers. Just like humans sweating to cool down, the towers evaporate the water into the air, which cools the whole system. But that means the water isn't just cycled through. It evaporates. It goes into thin air. It's gone.
To put that into a relatable perspective, let's look at a typical 300-megawatt data center. That single building consumes 2 times the electricity of an entire city of 300,000 people. 2 times. And it consumes about 1/3 of the water of that same city. When you remember that dozens of these complexes are being built side by side, it becomes instantly clear that each of these AI factories is essentially a resource-hungry mini-city.
Currently, the data centers operating in Johor use about 20 million liters of water every single day. Now, right now, that's less than 1% of the state's total demand. But here's the catch. The state only has about an 11% reserve margin. That's the tiny buffer between supply and total demand. By 2030, projections show Johor will need another 1,000 million liters a day in new supply just to keep up with the boom.
Part 3. Local concerns and backlash. Naturally, when you drop dozens of these tech mini-cities into a state, it is going to have a profound impact on the everyday lives of the people who actually live there.
And that brings us to the reality on the ground. In February 2026, more than 50 residents in Geelong, Patah actually staged a protest after a data center was built just a stone's throw away from their front doors. They were dealing with intense dust pollution from the rapid, 24/7 construction, but their biggest fears were about the utilities.
For folks living in elevated homes, a sudden drop in water pressure means their taps simply won't run. And this is a very sensitive topic locally. A severe dry spell in 2016 pushed reservoirs to critical levels, and it led to this highly disruptive water rationing for tens of thousands of residents. So that trauma is still very fresh.
State authorities are acutely aware of these concerns. To try and manage this tension, they introduced a tiered pricing plan. Basically, this ensures that these large industrial data centers are charged at different rates. The goal is to make the tech giants bear a much greater share of the actual utility costs so everyday citizens don't end up footing the bill for the AI boom.
Part 4, Beyond the Infrastructure Layer. Let's zoom out and look at how this fits into Malaysia's broader strategy. Because honestly, hosting giant water-guzzling buildings is only step one. The central gamble here is turning this raw infrastructure into a true, high-paying innovation economy.
First, we have to talk about jobs. Direct employment inside data centers is shockingly low. One analysis noted that these mega facilities create just one permanent job for every $13 million invested. But the ripple effect in the supply chain, that's where the real value lies. Take the Taiwanese server manufacturer Wilwin, for example. They set up shop in Malaysia to supply servers for these data centers. Initially, they were targeting 500 employees, but they grew to 3,700 staff in just 2.5 years. And over 90% of those workers are Malaysians.
Malaysia is also attempting to move up the value chain with homegrown tech innovations. Enter Edge AI. Instead of sending every single piece of data back and forth to a massive, power-hungry cloud data center, Edge AI processes the data right there on your local device. A Malaysian startup called Skyship actually created the Mars 1000, which is the country's first Edge AI chip. This is incredibly important because it drastically reduces the bandwidth and power consumption of those giant data centers while also keeping your data much more private.
And speaking of data privacy, location really matters in AI. Having data centers locally means Malaysia can train AI models on the cultural nuances of its own people without violating data sovereignty. A perfect example of this is dealing with Bahasa Rojak. It's a colloquial mixed language used every day in Malaysia that combines formal Malay, slang, Mandarin, Tamil, and local dialects. Standard Western AIs struggle massively to understand it, but by using local computing power, YTL developed an AI model called ILMU, which natively understands these uniquely Malaysian linguistic nuances.
Part 5. The Ultimate AI Trade-off. We've seen the massive physical toll on resources, and we've seen the incredible technological potential. So what is the ultimate trade-off here?
To truly move from being just an infrastructure hub to a true innovation hub, Malaysia has to clear some serious bottlenecks. A 2025 estimate by University Technology Malaysia highlighted a shortage of about 10,000 workers with specialized AI skills. Coupled with that, Malaysia has a high brain drain rate of 5.5%, meaning a lot of their top talent is leaving the country. Furthermore, despite its incredibly advanced infrastructure, the country still ranks 4th in Southeast Asia for venture capital funding. Experts agree, just stopping at the infrastructure layer isn't enough. They need local startups and talent to actually convert this pure computing power into real-world business value.
Which leaves us with this final, high-stakes question. Will building out these massive, resource-heavy AI factories guarantee Malaysia a commanding place in the global AI age? Or is it a massive gamble that risks leaving local water and power resources completely tapped out for the sake of giant tech companies? It's a fascinating, precarious balancing act between technological progress and the very real physical limits of our planet. Just something to think about the next time you casually type a prompt into an AI chatbot. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the world around you.